And we are live. Good morning, February 10th. It is International Epilepsy Day, February 10th. So check out some information, learn a little bit about neurological differences, how epilepsy affects people. And an interesting little fact about epilepsy is it's not the flash of fireworks, it's the concussive booms of fireworks that are more problematic for the epileptic mind than the flashing. Good morning, Mr. AJ. How are you doing? I see you there in the YouTubes. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, not X. We're here on TikTok too for the time being. And again, this is the Neuro-Affirming Conversation Hour of Outreach and Support, or what we like to refer to as NACHOS. Because nothing's better with your coffee on a Monday morning than a big hearty plate of some spicy nachos. Get that morning kicked off right with some indigestion and some praying for the toilet water to splash up. Oh, yeah. So, speaking of burning, the quote for today comes from Eliza Yudkowsky. And good old Eliza reminds us that a burning itch to know is higher than a solemn vow to pursue the truth. To feel the burning itch of curiosity requires both that you be ignorant and that you desire to relinquish your ignorance. So again, today the quote is, a burning itch to know is higher than a solemn vow to pursue truth. To feel the burning itch of curiosity requires both that you be ignorant and that you desire to relinquish your ignorance. A very good quote today and every day, this week and every week, to remind us that the first step in knowing is admitting that you don't know. And so the idea of humility, when it comes to knowledge and wisdom, I've always learned they go kind of hand in hand. And as we know from Dunning-Kruger, a lot of people always focus on the Dunning-Kruger effect, and they always focus on the people who don't know and the overconfidence of the people who don't know. But the other side of Dunning-Kruger is the fact that a lot of competent people lack confidence in their abilities. And also, competent people know what they don't know. And so this bugs people sometimes when you answer, I don't know. That is an okay answer. That is an acceptable answer. Because when you admit that you don't know, you will probably start to look for an answer. I think it's natural. Again, today, February 10th, National or International Epilepsy Day. And hopefully we all have a burning itch to relinquish our ignorance today. And that's what the Neuro-Affirming Conversation Hour for Outreach and Support is all about. Learning some new things about the world. We'll talk about some research that is currently out and some new things about humanity. But we'll also talk about some of the pressing issues. Now, I also know that some of my students in my humanities class want to discuss the project. And we will talk about that. After we talk about the news of the day, I want to talk about the Turing test. Because for those of you who are not enrolled in my college classes, one of the first assignments for my Humanities 101 class is a requirement that my students pass a modified Turing test and prove to me that they're human. They really are just questions that dive into who you are as a human, who you are as a person. One of them's kind of a tricky joke, tongue-in-cheek question about metaphors. But it really is just a a kind of way to explore what it means to be human. And so we'll talk about that at the end of today. So stick around. I'll walk through, show you the assignment, and talk a little bit about how you can get that done. There are also examples on this channel. If you go to this channel, you will see an example of the Turing test taken by an alum of the college, and kind of an all-around dynamo of a human. So check out Fatima's interview, and we run through the Turing test. So it's one of the things I like to do when I sit down with people. When I can get them to sit down with me, it's always hard. So if you know somebody who would like to sit down and discuss with me what they do, why they do it, and how they do it, please hit me up. Send a message to info@humanities101.org. info@humanities101.org. All right.
Let's do it, everybody.
All right, let's do it indeed. So what is the news of the day? One of the most interesting stories I read this week, and it is near and dear to my heart because not only am I a humanities professor, but I also, in another realm, talk to medical and governmental professionals about neurodiversity and neuro-affirmation and the ways in which they can make their practices of medicine better. Some people talk about bedside manner, but it's not just that. And so this study looks at the measurable effects of more than just science and math. So this looks at the power of art in neurology training. Have you ever thought about how art could make doctors better at their jobs? A new study from Boston University and Boston Medical Center suggests that incorporating visual arts into neurology residency programs could significantly enhance doctors' observational skills, communication, and empathy. The study explored how neurology residents responded to structured art observation sessions at a local museum. Instead of focusing solely on medical cases, they analyzed paintings, sculptures, and other works of arts. And the results were striking. Residents who participated in these sessions reported an increased ability to notice fine details, a skill that directly translates to better patient diagnosis and care. More importantly, they found themselves better equipped to handle clinical uncertainty, an unavoidable part of the medical practice. Beyond technical skills, the study also revealed that engaging with art helped residents develop a deeper sense of empathy. By analyzing and discussing artwork, they became more attuned to different perspectives, which in turn enhanced their ability to connect with patients on a human level. Additionally, the sessions provided a space for self-reflection, reducing stress, and improving overall well-being. This research underscores the growing movement to integrate the humanities into medical training, reinforcing the idea that doctors are not just skilled clinicians, but also thoughtful and compassionate healers. Could the future of medical education include more museum visits? If the results of this study are any indication, I would say the answer is a resounding yes. And we know this. We know this. We know that the reason that for years, the idea of a well-rounded education, a lot of people have gotten to a point where they just talk about it as something because it's like Mozart. They don't know why, but they were told it's good, so listen to it. They were told it's good, so eat it. They were told it's good, so do it. But this is showing us that there are measurable and tangible benefits to the sometimes nebulous and esoteric study of art. And so again, measurable results with these neurology residents. And if anybody's interested in creating something like that, reach out. Because whereas I may not be able to help you directly, I know the people who can help you directly, and let's make this stuff happen. Because the only way, again, that we can relinquish this ignorance of how do I make my doctors better in my hospital is by asking the question. So reach out. info@humanities101.org. So now we're going to talk about one of my favorite pastimes. Again, we talked about burning. Now let's talk about itching. So The immune benefits of scratching. The University of Pittsburgh, Dr. Daniel Kaplan is studying the fascinating dual role of scratching in skin health. While scratching an itch is often discouraged due to its potential to exacerbate skin conditions, this study reveals that scratching may also serve an evolutionary purpose by enhancing our skin's defenses against harmful bacteria. They did some experiments on mice, obviously, and what they found with contact dermatitis, a condition triggered by allergens like poison ivy or certain metals, researchers observed that scratching led to an increased skin inflammation. Now, this occurs because scratching activates neurons that release a chemical called substance P, which in turn stimulates mast cells. The mast cells release histamine, causing swelling and redness. However, mast cells also play a crucial role in defending against pathogens. This study found that scratching reduces levels of Staphylococcus aureus, a common skin bacterium that can cause infections. This suggests that scratching, despite its drawbacks, may have evolved as a protection mechanism to reduce bacteria presence on the skin. Now, Dr. Kaplan emphasized that while scratching does have protective benefits, the harm it causes, especially when chronic, generally outweighs these advantages. Basically, what he's trying to do is develop a better understanding of this dual rule and how it can lead to better treatments of dermatitis, rosacea, hives, things like that. So again, the study provides a nuanced perspective on the act of scratching, and it highlights a complex role in both exacerbating and protecting our skin. And so I think it's fascinating because a lot of discussion has been in the news about useless medical research, useless scientific research. And I think if it answers a question, it can't be useless. But again, I'm biased. So when you have that scratch, right, sometimes it can be a good thing, or itch, sometimes it can be a bad thing, as long as you don't do it too much. That's what Dr. Kaplan would say. Now, very interestingly, on this same topic of scratching and itching, I know this is one of my things that I do. One of the ways that I can tell if I am dysregulated is usually right here on my arms. I will scratch, and I don't know why, but eventually I find that over the years, when I've been severely dysregulated, and so I literally was checking there. I did not know what I was going to find out when I pulled up those sleeves, because it's kind of an automatic response. And this is one of the things that I suffer from as far as self-harming stems. Okay. But a very interesting study out of Kyoto University has shed light on the intricate relationship between the body responses and emotions in primates. And so this offers insights that can deepen our understanding about the human emotional processes. The researchers found, right, in 6 Japanese macaques at the University Center for Evolutionary Origins of Human Behavior, right? They observed the monkey's self-scratching behavior. So the idea of self-scratching, a physical action linked to negative emotions such as anxiety and fear. And they examined its connections to pessimistic judgment bias. And this bias reflects a tendency to anticipate negative outcomes when confronted with ambiguous situations. So when you see something, you always jump to the most negative. That's what we're talking about, okay? Pessimistic judgment bias. In the study, the macaques were trained to associate a white button with a reward and a black button with no reward, right? So not a punishment, just a lack of reward. They were then introduced to a gray button representing an ambiguous choice. The researchers monitored the monkey's choices and recorded instances of self-scratching. They discovered that the macaques were more likely to avoid the gray button, indicating a pessimistic judgment immediately after self-scratching episodes. Interestingly, while these bodily responses predicted subsequent pessimistic decisions, the reverse was not true. Making a pessimistic choice did not lead to increased self-scratching. This finding contrasts with patterns observed in humans where cognitive states can influence bodily reactions. The study suggests that in macaques, emotional bodily responses may precede cognitive changes. From an evolutionary perspective, this sequence, addressing immediate needs through bodily responses before engaging in cognitive processing, might have been advantageous for survival in natural habitats. This mechanism could have been conserved across species long before humans and macaques diverged. The research team believes that in humans, the interplay between mind and body may have evolved uniquely, influenced by language and advanced introspection. The purpose, they propose that further studies involving a broader range of primates and other animals could illuminate the evolutionary origins of human emotions and enhance our comprehension of the mind-body connection. This study not only provides valuable insights into primate behavior, but also prompts us to reflect on deep-rooted connections between our physical actions and our emotional states. And I know, as someone who has a connection between this physical reaction and the emotional states due to my personal disability, it has manifested in many ways. And so I understand this in a personal level, but I do think that this is one of the interesting things that we can study on a scientific basis. And this is one of those things that, even though, again, they're studying macaques, and they want to look at other primates, I think it is important that even the ancients, even when you look at someone like Aristotle, Plato, they talked about the importance of that emotional, physical, mental connection, mind, body, spirit, right? And so if we want to think of spirit as the emotional state, it's high time we do some exercising of that emotional state, because our society is self-harming with its scratching now. We don't want to break the skin. Staphylococcal infection. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Right? Anybody up for an infection?
Let's do it, everybody.
All right, Travis.
How you feel about it?
I don't know how I feel about it. Now, very interestingly, a very probably more prophetic study, not really prophetic, but probably the reason why I do these things in the morning, because the University College of London has revealed that our mental health and well-being tend to be at their peak in the morning, and they decline towards midnight. Shocking. The research analyzed nearly 1 million survey respondents from almost 50,000 adults participating. And the participants reported on all aspects such as happiness, life satisfaction, feelings of life's worthiness, and loneliness. And the findings indicated that happiness and life satisfaction were higher on Mondays, Fridays, and Tuesdays compared to Sundays. That Sunday feeling because of Monday morning. With mental health peaking during the summer months. Well, that makes sense. While the study couldn't establish causation due to observational nature, research suggests that physiological changes linked to our body clock might explain these variations. Now, University College London's Department of Behavioral Science and Health emphasized that the potential mental health support services to adjust resources based on these fluctuating needs throughout the day. So basically, what they're suggesting at the University College of London is put more shit in the morning. People feel better and more motivated and happier in the morning. Get it done, get it out of the way. And what we have known through the study of things like biphasic sleeping, which is the theory that humans are designed to sleep in two different blocks. So if you look at cultures with the afternoon siesta, those would be an example of biphasic kind of sleeping. You wake up fairly early, work in the morning, lunch, then relax, then you get going again, later in the afternoon, go till, sundown, then you eat, then you dance, and then you sleep, right? And so, if you've ever gone to Disney World and done the morning, then the afternoon break, and then the evening park thing, it's kind of like that. But I've played around with biphasic sleeping, and it's not too bad. Sleeping for 3.5 hours in 2 blocks a day, 4 hours, 2 blocks a day. You do lose track of human time, right? But I do think that there's something about my mental acuity that's a little different. I still do it. I just do it in a different pattern. I don't do 2 equal patterns anymore. I sleep, do like a 4 hour and then like a 1.5 or 2 hour kind of thing. So I still get, 6 to 7 hours of sleep a day. I probably should get more, but hey, what are you going to do? So, again, when we think about, thank you, Michael. Thank you. Michael's thrown it up there in the YouTube. I like it. So again, if you need to schedule something and you lack the motivation, schedule it in the morning. And I highly recommend that you get up and you do a little dance, you sing a little song. That's always a good thing too. Get a little movement going. I know that before I get on here on the YouTube, I will rock out for about at least 10 minutes, usually loudly. I have a cowbell if need be, and I can bang the crap out of that cowbell. Now, of course, I need to get different drumsticks because I might have banged the crap out of it a little too much. But, there is definitely something about, having that sensory input, even for autistic minds, even if you're not autistic, even if you don't have sensory seeking behavior. We know that chewing gum, we know that popping a mint in your mouth, we know that even doing something like self-care, like brushing your hair or brushing your teeth, can be cathartic, can make one feel better, right? And so again, as we talk about self-care and as we talk about distinguishing the ignorance, listen to yourself. Right? Listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to your soul. And when it screams to you to do something, respond in kind, right? If you are thirsty, drink. If you are hungry, eat, as the old Irish song goes. But also, if you are questioning, if you want to seek answers, seek them. And if you don't know how, ask, right? Ask for help. And so, this leads me, I guess, to the next part of today's nachos, which again, if you are tuning in just for the news and all of that stuff, we're gonna transition out of that and go into some more class type stuff. But it's even interesting, even if you aren't enrolled in a class, because one of the first projects, as I mentioned, is proving that you're human and taking a modified Turing test. And so this is one of the things that I have students do. And so if you want to stick around, I'll talk about that assignment for a little while, because I've gotten some students who want to get started. This assignment is due at the end of this month. So when we're looking at the time frame, we're looking at 2.5 weeks from now on the 28th of February, you have a video project due that addresses the Turing test. And give me a second and I will start sharing my screen, and I will share with you, boom, how to access the class. All right, so here we are. The 2 classes I'm enrolled in are the Autism Advocacy and Empowerment Discussion Group, which again, if you're interested in joining, that meets every month. The first Thursday of every month. You can sign up for that on humanities101.org. We've also got our link tree and all that other fun stuff. But we basically have a monthly discussion group where we just get together with late diagnosed autistic people and we talk about life. We talk about work. We talk about love. We talk about all that fun stuff. Humanities 101, the NGO that I run. Also, we've got some classes on the movie Crip Camp. And we've got some other fun stuff coming up. So again, check out Humanities 101 for more information. But here is the course. This is the Humanities 101 course where you can find all your information. And again, to get to the assignment information, you want to click here where it says classwork. And all of the info, right, that you see here can be clicked on. The purple ones are the assignments. And if I click on assignment 1, and look at the details. All right. Basically, what I see is for this project, I'm asked to produce either a single or a series of videos. And the reason why I say a single or a series of videos is some students don't want to upload one long video, or they don't want to post one long video. They want to post one video per question. And so that's acceptable. And this is basically, there are no right or wrong answers on this. I want you to post a video or a series of videos that answer these questions. What is your most memorable childhood event and how has it impacted you today? Describe yourself using only shapes and colors. Describe why time flies like an arrow, but fruit flies like a banana. How do you feel when you think about your upbringing and what makes you feel this way? What historical event changed you the most and when were you, where were you when it happened? And which of the previous questions was the most difficult to answer and why? Now this, out of all the other projects this semester, this is the only project that is a required video project. The other projects are either a written project or you get to choose, right? So the next project, you get to choose whether you do a video or a paper, and the last project is a paper. However, this one is a video. Students ask me all the time, do I have to be on camera? No, you do not have to be on camera. Do I have to use my own voice? No, you do not have to use your own voice. This is the 21st century. You can do voiceovers. You can use AI voices. You can use slideshow transitions, all of that fun stuff. You can use animation. The most important thing in this assignment is answering these questions, right? Based upon your true self. I want you to explain yourself to me. So there is no right or wrong answer. It is how you explain yourself. And some students do that very seriously. Some students do that jokingly. Some students do that with a mix of both. I am not grading you on what you answer. I am grading that you answer and that you explain the answer, right? So, describe yourself in shapes and colors. If you simply say, I am a purple trapezoid, and you don't explain to me why you're a purple trapezoid, why the color purple, why a trapezoid, what about you is trapezius? If you don't explain that, that's where you're going to lose points. So I just want to see that you explain yourself. And I've gotten a lot of students that say, well, what do you mean by creative? Do I need to learn about editing? Do I need to learn about transitions? I am not talking about the creativity of your video, even though if you want to get creative and you want to be Michael Bay and put a bunch of explosions, that's cool too. I'm not talking about the creativity of your video. I'm talking about the creativity of how you answer, right? Because if you'll notice in some of these projects in this class, I ask that you, in some of these projects, I ask that you define the question for me. In the midterm, you are asked about the greatest invention of the 20th century or 21st century. I make you, in that project, define what greatest means and define what invention means. So before you can begin answering that question, you have to define the question. So in this particular project, the questions simply are proof that you're a human or not. I have had students that have done a pure Turing test where they have answered these questions and then they have posed these questions to AI and they have compared the answers. That's fine too. There are lots of examples. If you go online and you type in Humanities 101 Turing test into YouTube here, you're going to find some past student examples. I had one student who did a 50-minute video where he had his friends take these or pose these questions. Then they posed it to AI, and then they had another friend ask them all if they could decipher between which ones were friend answers and which ones were computer answers. They literally did a Turing test. That was creative. That was fun. And that was an afternoon with his friends. All right. That one of your classmates did that. I don't need you to reinvent the wheel. I don't need you to get multiple people together and have a game show. I'm just giving you examples of what has been done in the past. Okay. Thank you, Chris. I see you there. Welcome, welcome. So, again, this is the assignment You can find this on the Google Classroom for Humanities 101. That is the first assignment. Prove to me that you're a human so that you can pass Humanities 101, because I want no bots in here. And from this point on, right, then I will assume everyone in this class is a human. If you pass this first assignment, you can then pass Humanities 101. And with that, this is the nachos for today, the Neuro-Affirming Conversation Hour for Outreach and Support. I am watching for questions. I am seeing if there are any concerns. Let's check the phone here. I see no questions. Let me check the Twitch, the LinkedIn, the YouTube, and the Facebook. Any questions? Any questions? And my royalty-free jazz, brought to you by Kevin MacLeod on Spotify. Thank you, Kevin MacLeod, for your free royalty-free jazz. I like it. I actually might listen to it while I'm doing some work because it's actually not bad. Most royalty-free jazz is garbage, but way to go, Kevin. I like this shit.
Let's do it, everybody. 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 Let's do it, everybody.
All right. Well, that's a perfect time to end. And remember, if you have a question, if that you got that little voice inside of you and you say, should I take that risk? Should I help that person? Should I clothe that naked person? Should I feed that hungry person? Dig deep inside of yourself and remember that every time the answer is going to be,
let's do it, everybody.
Yep, do it. Do the right thing, even when it's the hard thing. And with that, I wish you all a wonderful week. And I will see you when I see you. All right, YouTube. Via con Diablos.